see you in the land of Mordor. Death awaits you at the border. Pass on through the gates of fun. Destroy the ring of power and wonder. Shadows increasing.
Hey, Lord of the Rings strategy battle game fans, welcome back. I am Romantical, or Roman Daisel, depending on how you want to pronounce the name. Today we're going to be looking at something I got for my birthday. My wife always lets me buy what I want on my birthday, and I usually pick something from Warhammer. So it came in the mail, and I've already opened the box because I don't want the address to show. And we'll see what's inside. Maybe. Alright, we have a Lord of the Rings Gondor battle. This is Battle Cry Trebuchet. So we got the Trebuchet that you see in the actual Peter Jackson movies. Tolkien never mentions any trebuchets in his book. He mentions how the Mordor has war machines and that there's nothing on the walls of Minas Tirith that can reach so far, which I find kind of weird, kind of bizarre, considering how old Gondor is with his and their access to Numenorean technology as well as Elven technology. So I always felt that kind of strange that Gondor doesn't have catapults and trebuchets of their own, powerful war engines. They should have. With over 6,000 years of warfare and technology at their disposal, they should have been able to design something. So that's one of the things that always mystified me about Tolkien's universe. Alright, so it comes with directions on how to build this. That's always good to have. This is resin, which is nice. So I like that. Should means it's going to be easier to glue together, piece together, because metal sucks. I know that from my war catapult. Comes in all sorts of little pieces. And you also get 3 Gondorian engineers, siege engineers or weapon engineers. So that's not bad. I already have 2 Mordor war catapults and would love to get the little siege bows they have for both Gondor and Mordor. That'd be nice to get. I know on this box they do have a picture of what it'll look like on the walls. So hopefully this thing will fit on the wall, because the wall is not very big when it comes down to it. So anyway, we're gonna put this together and then paint it up and see what it looks like. Kind of put together. I remember now why I don't like resin. I had the rope to the counterbalance snap off. It's supposed to go here. It then snapped off. So now, thanks a lot. Have to figure out something there now. And then another little piece also snapped off there. So it's got to be connected back. I haven't put this part together yet. It just goes, I did once, but it wasn't sitting right, so I took it off again. But it just goes in like that, somehow. And then it's supposed to sit in here. So resin is very brittle, even with these, the figures. Like this one, snapped off the end. I would have preferred these to be plastic. Metal I know is harder to paint than resin. Also with resin, you can see it doesn't sit flat, and it made it incredibly hard for these joints in here. In fact, they still don't go into the holes they're supposed to. And a couple of these side ones, it made it incredibly hard when you don't have it flush. So, but overall, so far so good. It's going to work. It will work. And we'll get it painted and see what it looks like. Alright, so we got it painted up with a nice base coat of brown. I used to use black spray paint, but it just didn't. It's too glossy looking because I wasn't using a a Warhammer one, but something else. And I found that it was harder to find get the details, like to see the details when I'm painting. So we got it base painted brown. I finally got the counterbalance on it. I still have to figure out how to re-glue this thing on because it broke off, snapped off. So we'll see if we can get that up. Got to paint the Gondorian engineers. We will. And I'm not sure if I'm going to put it on the base or not. If I put it on the base and I can't put it on the walls of Minas Tirith, it's got to be off the base. So I might not even bother with a base for this thing. But it has a pretty big one. So it's just 2 little pieces to glue on. And we'll see how it works. So now let's get it painted up and see how it looks. After many attempts to get going, I finally got this painted. It took a while. I was trying to find a suitable color scheme. I've seen a lot of where it's been dark brown or where it's been gray. I chose to go with a lighter brown and then shaded it with a wash. So that it looks pretty decent. I'll take the Gondorians off. Now I didn't put a base on this simply because I'm going to take it off and put it up on the walls so the base doesn't fit on the wall. And because it's resin, and resin is really crumbly, I find, and breaks easy and has too many little jagged bits. I would prefer if this been metal or plastic. So this thing doesn't move anymore because it's glued, because this thing fell off. Broke apart, so it's kind of glued all in one. Same with this thing. This thing fell off, this part. Actually, it collapsed in 2. This little part and this part detached. So overall, you know, it's going to sit, it's not going to move around. It's not going to move. No movable parts. But I am pleased with the overall effect of the shading. Considering I'm not a professional painter by any stretch of the imagination, and I kept it simple. So like I said, this thing can fit up on the wall just like that. Unfortunately, when you put it on the wall, it takes a lot of room. I don't know how they load it. We'll get to that in a minute. And then we have 3 Gondorian engineers to work it. Now the engineers, I originally was going to go with like Roman engineers where they have like they were going to have skirts of either purple or dark blue, but it didn't look good at all. Wasn't a good look. So I went with earth brown, morning fang brown, as their main uniform underneath the armor. And I think it looks really cool. The earth, it goes well with engineering. But not really as in the purple I thought would go well with, as an elite unit. Same with the blue, the dark blue. But it just didn't look good. So I went with the morning fang brown look. Move all these guys out of the way. The guys I just moved away used to be up on the wall. Get a back view of what it would look like. So yeah, when you shoot it off, how are you going to reload this? There's no room unless you have a pulley system up here that brings up the rock. But other than that, these 2 guys are not, they're just going to wind it back into position. There's just no room for anybody, unfortunately. One of the drawbacks of the design and the scale. It should have been a thicker wall and taller, and a lot taller. But it looks pretty cool. Put a couple of archers there on the side view. I could probably put a spearman and a swordsman there too to really crowd it. Another shot of the back view. Be hard to aim as well. That's the only problem with trebuchets. They don't have a lot of, unless they're on a rail system, you can't move it sideways. It would take a lot to move these things. There should have been a wheeled version as well. An option to put wheels on this. Other side view. And then we'll go back to the front.
Looks
Even the
pretty
base
cool.
that it sits on is hard. It's very hard. It's not exactly easy. Put everybody on. So you can't really move this model. Once you establish where it's going to be, that's it. It can't move. And if an enemy outflanks or gets within range where it can't be used, it's not going to fire at infantry 6 inches away on the table. It's just too close. Or you might hit your own guys in the front line. There's always that possibility. So this would be good in like defending a river. So anyway, that's the Gondor Trebuchet. And I'm quite pleased with how it came out. I'm quite pleased with how I painted the guys. And it'll make a good set piece. I'm going to have to try it out in a battle. That'll be coming up. But all you Lord of the Rings fans out there, let me know what you guys think of this. The Lord of the Rings strategy battle game, let me know how it plays. I've seen one where it went against a Mumakil with mixed results. So leave comments in the comment section. Until next time, I'm Roman Daisel. I'm out of here.